And that brings me to the question of coaching, training, because in order for you to have the team of agents who provide the right service, who are proud, just like you are, of the Berkshire Hathaway brand, they need to live up to it. They need to be able to, like if they get a referral from California, Berkshire Hathaway California properties, they will provide the same service as California does. So it is consistent trust, quality, integrity, just like you said. So let's talk about coaching, education, which I know is very close to your heart.
It is. I always love to say I'm a coach and trainer at heart. You know, I've always believed that when you're given the opportunity to bring this brand into the homes of our clients or into bringing people, whether they're buying or selling or investing or renting or just planning their real estate lifestyle plan, you know, our core values have to permeate, which our first core values, you've seen on our statement here, it's integrity first. And that's a non-negotiable. In a very highly negotiable business, integrity first is the non-negotiable. When it comes to, you know, our vision statement at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Georgia Properties, it's the right choice. And it's about making the right choice for our clients. Sometimes that might even be like walking away and saying, it's not the right time, Lucy. Let's revisit, let's re-strategize. But if we do the right thing, we can never go wrong. And so from day one, when we have the privilege to wrap our arms around, whether it's a new associate or someone that's maybe coming and becoming a part of our company from another brand or another experience, you know, we want to invest in training. Knowledge is power. And it's not just the training, which I've always said that's kind of like the transfer of knowledge. Training is sort of a one-way. We're just transferring knowledge. But when you can wrap in the coaching and the accountability, that's where you really can transform people. So when I came to this company, I was very privileged. I actually was hired as the training director.
Yes, that's why I wanted to come to that question. You were a training director, and that is one of your hats that you were wearing, right?
It is, and there is nothing more rewarding because we're always going to be evolving this business. It's always changing. It's always transforming. It's always growing. It's never, you will never know it all. Yeah, this is, now I'm going into, you know, many, many years, almost my third decade in this business. And I think why I love it the most is because every day I learn something. And just when you think you've mastered something, you know, you kind of raise the bar and you can always get a little bit better. So here at Georgia Properties, whether it's a new associate or a very tenured associate, or we have over 87 tenured associates that have been with our company over 20 years.
Wow.
So not just in the industry, we have many more than that. We're always trying to meet them where they're at to take their knowledge and their skill set because consumers are hungry for knowledge. And back in the early days, you know, back when I used to have an MLS book as my booster seat, true story. And I think I did Photoshop before Photoshop was even around or computers were around because my mom would sit me down with an MLS book and I'd be waiting on her to get done with appointments and I'd have a box of crayons. I'd be coloring the grass and the black and white books. And, you know, I mean, think about the evolution of our industry. From the 70s to 80s to 90s, or those, you know, people that have been in the business before, it's constantly evolving. So you got to skate to the puck, as Wade Gretzky would say. You got to always be willing to learn and evolve. So to us, when we can train and coach, a couple of things. One, we're growing our skill set to be able to respond to the needs of the consumers. But it also provides an incredible source of collaboration. You know, there is such synergy when we can collaborate, and whether it's a mastermind group or whether it's a brand new agent group or whether it's taking our top seasoned agents and going in and really working through the typical objections of the day or some of the hurdles that we're faced with in the evolving business world that we're faced with, whether it's third-party economic factors of mortgages and lending and what have you. We get better. We are stronger together, as Gino Blefari says.
Stronger together, indeed.
That's
yes,
right.
That's where we met.
That's exactly how we met. And thank you, Gino. That is so true. You know, whether we're networking and working within our own office, which, you know, Lucy, think about this. All of our sales professionals are independent contractors. And I think so often in the industry, that is such a mindset. They are CEOs of their business. But here, they are CEOs of their business. But we really try to provide an ecosystem where they can collaborate and exchange ideas and get a little bit better today than they were yesterday, and a little bit better tomorrow. And then we'll be better for the consumer tomorrow, the next day, the next week, as it evolves. So I think having a culture of where there's constant learning It's innovation. It's exciting. You never feel stagnant, but you also know that it's okay to never know it all, because you won't. But you've got a resource.
As long as you are willing to learn, you want to embrace the new directions, and we will talk about technology in a minute.
Okay.
But while we are on coaching, I see that in your conference room you have Forever Agent training with Allan Dalton, and I guess you had it more than once. And your agents, your team, embrace the new direction of what you can provide to your client by being Forever Agent.
I'm so glad you mentioned
and
that.
Taking the oath.
Yes, taking the Forever Pledge. Thank you, Allan Dalton.
Pledge, yes.
And Christy and Gino. You know, think about, and I'm going to go back to my mother for a moment. If this is someone that 44 years in the business, she's still actually in Referral Associates. She was a Forever Agent. She wasn't just there for one transaction or for one client or for one sale. You know, she would start with someone who was maybe at the rental stage, and then over the course of her business, worked with them through growing into a home or a townhome to a home to a larger home to a second home to then, you know, their children going to college or their children then having a family. And so like when you think about the just multifaceted ability to not just be there for one moment, which in our industry, the statistics are there. I think the latest NAR statistics is that 87% of agents, you know, do not make it past that first 3 or 4 years. You know, we want to be that group that's not only that 13% that is making it, but we want to own the ability to serve that group that is really committed to being a forever agent, not just for one moment in their time, but to be there for their clients. Because as I know other NAR statistics talk about that, you know, the majority of people are pleased with the agent that they had before. But then the facts resonate that only 11% use the same agent.
Exactly.
And it goes back to that they're not there. They were there as a hobbyist. They did a transaction or 2 transactions, or they did it for a moment in time. But when we counsel our agents, we ask them, you know, what is their envisionment to be able to make this a you know, sales acceleration formula kind of principle, a repeatable, scalable, predictable, and one day sellable asset, because that asset is not the homes, it's people, it's people's lives. And that's the most important. And Allan Dalton, what he has done for our company as Vice President of Research and Development, to bring the Forever Agent movement, not just into words, kind of like today we're talking about being committed to it, but into really a series of doctrines, a series of philosophies, a series of training, taking a pledge. And I was really excited this year. We celebrated our 60th year in Atlanta, Georgia as a company. We were founded in 1963 by Ed Urbisfeld and have been in the city and in the state since 1963. But at our 60th anniversary, the beautiful wall of pledges that you saw, we had all of our associates that had taken the pledge sign that they were committing and were going to be a forever agent. And then I have actually set a big, hairy, audacious goal, my BHAG, to have 100% of our agents take the Forever Agent Pledge and not just say the words, but really be committed.
Feel it with your heart and commit.
That's right. That's right. And it just goes into 2. I actually gave out today 2 of the real estate lifestyle planning guides, which are part of the Forever Agent movement, which are letting our consumers know that we're not just there at point of sale when they need to buy, sell, invest, or lease, but we want to help them build a strategy and be that consultant for their life span of how they can gain wealth through real estate and achieve their dreams. So it's really exciting. I get kind of excited about
it. It is exciting indeed. It is. And Allan, he's a genius. And he does it with his heart. He strongly believes in every word he says. So it's not just a written book that he's repeating. He really worked on it. And he put his heart into it, all his emotions. And when he talks about Forever Agent, you just want to jump and be one. That's because I've been to some of his presentations and I met with Allan. So yeah, that is...
and he challenges status quo. He gets us in a mindset of thinking about, you know, the marketing proposal. It's not a listing presentation.
It's not a listing. Yeah, you know? It's not a database.
That's right.
And you are not a past agent. You are not serving a past client.
It's how we should be serving others. It's the, you know, yes, my last name is Golden. It is the golden rule. It's treating others the way they want to be treated. particularly when it comes to buying and selling a home.